Chi fit into your developing this whole perspective? Or is Tai Chi follow, or is it an integral part of your...
Tai Chi Chuan is it's a Chinese martial art. Tai Chi means, you must have seen yin yang.
Yeah, yin yang.
That is Tai Chi. If you want to talk like in terms of intercultural or interreligious dialogue, Shiva Shakti. It's their way of saying that. So before Tai Chi is Wuji. Wuji is like without form, non-manifest. It's the things before they manifest. And when they manifest, the first thing is this polarity, this interaction of yin and yang. And then from this interaction, yin and yang, everything else comes. Chuan means fist or boxing. So Tai Chi Chuan is the boxing of the Tai Chi. And so sometimes Tai Chi they would call like the supreme ultimate. It's like the supreme thing as it is manifested. And maybe another thing. And so this martial art is very much rooted in the Taoist philosophy. It's a Taoist philosophy also, meaning it's not only a philosophy, it's a practice. And in the Chinese way, okay, I make a little generalization. Okay, so it's not exactly like this, but just that we have an idea. The Indians, spiritual traditions, you don't like very much to be here. You want to have moksha, you want to get out of here. Even in some yoga traditions, birth, it's a fundamental disease. It's not about like health or what. No, fundamental disease, you're born means you're not perfect. Otherwise you could not be here. So how to get out of here?
Moksha.
That's it. How do you get out of here? And so many of the practices will be focused on that. And now other things that also come, I'm just generalizing. There's of course lots of different traditions, but the general idea is a bit like this. The Chinese idea, Taoist idea, is much, much more about we're here, the world is as it is. How do you harmonize everything which is there? How do you harmonize with everything which is there? So how do I harmonize? And the thing which is happening is life. Life is circulating. So how do I nourish my life? How do I become healthy? And actually from the Chinese perspective, if you really become healthy, that's like in yoga, really healthy means physiologically, psychologically, spiritually, all these things, complete, perfect health. The Chinese say then you become immortal. It's, for the Buddhists, they would say you become a Buddha, or you say you reach moksha, it's the same thing, basically. But the emphasis in reaching there is different. Instead of saying I have to fight against these things because I want to get out of it, it's more like, how do I harmonize more and more with all these things which are there and around, so that little by little, when everything is completely harmonized, that just naturally happens, I return to the Tao, or become one with the Tao. And so the practice is, let's say like Wuji, Taiji, 5 elements, and then everything, the 10,000 things, everything which exists comes out of this yin yang. So basically what you have to do is on the one hand to do the contrary. How from the 10,000 things can you return to Taiji, and from Taiji go to beyond? The yogi professionals are not allowed to answer, but the others would be curious to know if they know. What does Hatha Yoga mean? What is yoga? Yoga you know. Hatha. What does Ha and Ta stand for? Okay, the yoga professionals? sun and moon. It's the yin and yang energies. What do you do with Hatha Yoga? You also have to balance this polarity. You have to create the polarity, you have to get aware of the polarity, you have to integrate the polarity, and then you can go beyond that polarity. It's the same thing. Tai Chi is the same thing. So basically, how at the beginning when all your energy in your body is completely mixed up with everything, no, you have to polarize, you have to separate. Not separate, it happens naturally. And then little by little this fundamental polarity starts. And then you can go beyond that. And so in the Tai Chi, lots of the practices is first you have to take your vitality that you have to increase it, nourish it, and then refine it. That's what they call Jing. And then you will refine the Jing to Qi. Qi is a more refined version of its energy. Then you refine this more. It becomes Shen, which is the mind. You refine this more, open it up more. Then Shen becomes empty, becomes like a Wuji. And then once this is there, you become one with the Tao. And once you are gone that way, if you are a master, so this is the part to go up, then of course it's the other way around. It's the Tao which manifests itself, it will manifest in your mind, it will manifest in your energy, it will manifest in what you do. So it's like this, both up and down way, basically, that you have to do. And so the interesting thing is that when you're practicing Tai Chi, well, the basic principle is, the very basic is this yin-yang. One way you can feel it is empty and full. You know, when you're stepping, one foot gets full, the other gets empty. You know, you're always in this balance, in this shifting rhythm of things. And so as you practice more and more, you know, you discover more and more different energies, and also the part in Chinese thought, they say, there are practices where you don't move. Like Qigong, Tang Chuan. You stand like for an hour or something. Like asana, but like this standing posture. And they say, outside does not move, inside moves. Meaning, okay, your body does not move, but energy circulating. Then they say Tai Chi, outside moves, inside does not move. Means, okay, energy, body is moving, but your mind is completely stable and still. So, the whole Tai Chi is one way of starting to listen more and more, and also to transform basically like your human essence, if you want to put it like this. And then maybe the second thing, which is a difference between India and China, again I'm saying in a general way, is if you look at Dharma, Dharma is very much, it's static, it's order. You know, it's more like, it's the underlying order of how things are. It's this whole thing with the 4 yugas, and then, like, you know, then it's like the cow standing on 4 legs, standing on 3 legs, standing on. So it's this idea of it's stable. It's something which gives stability, which is the root of like maintaining, sustaining. I think that really what corresponds to Dharma in the Chinese context is Tao. But the whole notion of Tao, it's the same, but the emphasis is a bit different, because Tao is what is always changing. Tao is the change. And if you want to understand the Tao, you have to understand the change. That is why there's also practices to hold still, but then why you practice with the movements? Because you have to understand movement. You have to understand change. You have to understand how everything is changing, and how within all this everything that is changing, certain things don't change. And how is this interrelation happening? So that is where the Taiji Chuan will come in. And actually Taiji Chuan itself is only part, it's a martial art. But when you practice it, there's also other practices which is more like, they call it Qigong. Qi is energy. It's meaning like pranayama. It's mastering energy. Qigong. And then you have meditation practices, and what they call internal alchemy. It's like you can say yoga practices. And then you have other martial arts. And for example, in Bhutan, where I'm studying, you don't only study Taiji Chuan, but you study different martial arts. And actually, the movements that you see in Taiji Chuan, which are very slow movements, that's just the first steps of the training. Because again, it works. However it works, but it works. if you really want to develop the power, you have to develop the softness. If you really want to develop the speed, you have to develop the slowness. And so that's why at the beginning you just work very slowly, very relaxed, no physical power, it's all with the intent. And that little by little it helps you to align your body, to energy start coming, harmonizing things, and also like not only the body, but the body, the awareness, the energies, intent, all these things little by little come together. And then of course, then you can use it quickly. In the martial art aspect it is like this. But at the preparatory phases when you're practicing it, is all this thing of harmonizing body, mind, energy. So it also has like a health benefit, and then it also has at some level like more like a meditation in action. Instead of just sitting, your body will be practicing, but your mind will be sitting.
So if I understand it, what it means is that it's like resolving the conflicts within, so as to be able to resolve the conflicts that are in the...
See, resolving conflicts, like another way of saying resolving conflicts.
Just in a way, even if you say that yin and yang are a kind of conflict, let's say, opposing kind of things, resolve and create a harmony, accept that there are differences and contradictions, and then make them into a whole.
One thing which is very important is yes, you have to understand the polarity of things. Here you have yin yang. Okay? Here there's pa qua. Pa means 8. Qua, this like trigram is called qua. Okay, pa qua. The whole book of changes in Taoism, like I Ching, which is like maybe the most ancient book in China, where they have 64 hexagrams, okay, where they have double trigrams. So basically it's based on this thing. And these 64 hexagrams refer to 64 basic changes or phases of change that you can experience in life. So whenever you want to do something, like traditionally Chinese, you can go and you can determine what is the qua of that moment, so that you can see how you have to act. So what are these qua? Yang is one line. Yin is broken line. So when they put 3 lines, this is yang yang. Okay? So it would be heaven, sky. When it's 3 broken lines, is yin. That's the earth. Okay, that's completely the receptive. But if you only have yin yang, is life only on off? No. Life is how on moves and becomes more and more and decreases and becomes off. And then from off, we see more in Europe, we have like the seasons with the winter and so on. Then we see that the whole nature is sleeping for 3 months, and then suddenly spring comes and again new cycle is starting. And so then again it goes up again, and then again it will come down again. So what you see here, also the quas are changing from bottom. So it will become, it's still yang yang, but it already has to become yin. Then second will also become yin. Then the whole thing will become yin. And then again from bottom it will become yang, and then second yang, and then the whole thing is yang. And so that is how you have this whole progression of yin yang. And this one is fire and water. And they are the ones where you have like the yin or yang inside of the So the whole study also of Taiji Chuan is to understand these polarities. Is to understand you cannot have good without bad. You cannot have up without down. You cannot have front without behind. You cannot have left without right. They are always there. And so one of the ways to start understanding it is in your practice. One of the rules of Taiji Chuan is one part of your body moves, your whole body moves. This does not exist in Taiji Chuan. This will exist. Why? Because I want to use my whole body. Otherwise, where's the power? If I just use like disconnect. So that's why I have to integrate. And so, in order to work in a uniform way, unified way, you have to understand that if something goes up, something goes down. What does it mean on one level? If I just go down, I will collapse. So if something goes down, something also has to go up. If something goes in front, something has to go back. If I only go in front, again I will collapse. So you always have this left, right, front, back, up, down. And then you start to see it's a whole. And
Binary.
binary in the sense that always polarities. And so once you have this sphere, then you have a center. That allows you to be centered. If you only have front where you center, you don't have a center because things will draw you like this and you're always drawn when you're drawn because you don't have the other part. And so you start experiencing also in your body like what it means to have alignment, what it means to have center. And then it's the same thing like psychologically. And some people will have lots of problems at the beginning because it's so slow. It means that you want to go faster, you want to put power, you should not be putting power, and so there's also this whole thing how you deal with the emotions that come up, there's all these things going on. And so on the one hand, very true, so the polarity, and then also starting to recognize, also in my movement, there's a movement, okay, I'm coming, relaxing, then again, Yang will come, Yin will come. In the day, the same thing, Yang, I'm working, then I go to sleep, Yin. They want to take this away from us nowadays, but basically you work and you take some rest, and you take some holidays. If it's like you have to be like 150% all of the time, yang, it will break. It's not possible, because the natural thing is, you have to have the rhythm, yoga, Spanda, nicht Spanda. Activate, and you have to relax. You cannot only activate. You cannot only relax. You have to find this kind of rhythm. So that is this importance of polarity. But so polarity not only meaning binary in the sense of, because we are interested in the whole rhythm and how one moves to the other and so on. But the second part of the question from Dipti is resolve conflicts, how to open up. Whenever things are, I make a movement and I'm like, I don't know, I'm like this, here it cannot circulate properly. So I need to open up. So certain things you can just with your awareness, okay, you can open up. But some things deeper inside of our body, it's all our emotions, all these things which are like this, and so that's why we have like ulcers in our stomach, or we have, all these things. So actually, the more you practice, that's why it's also related to like this internal working Taoism. It's also a way of little by little opening up all the knots that we have. And so the knots being physiological knots, but psychological, they're interrelated. And sometimes maybe I've seen it doesn't happen every day, but sometimes I gave one yoga class once, and one lady came with simple things. She was crying from beginning till end. The whole class she was just crying. Because somehow just to, okay, it opened up something. Just, yeah. So sometimes you work on something physical, but some other things may also get released. Sometimes, on the other hand, you work on some psychological maybe problems or issues, and you resolve it, and your practice becomes better. They are linked. And that is why they say now yoga or like Taiji, all these arts, we have kept very much the technique part. But it's a way of life. And why is it way of life? Because everything is connected at some level. And the danger is that sometimes now, because so many things have been published and lots of information which was like secret before is available, just like this. And so people want to push through. Before you had the master who just not give you certain practices before you thought that you were ready for doing those practices. So you had like a safety thing. And now people go on things and yeah, maybe they have not resolved some more basic issues. But then if you start pushing certain practices, yes, they will have some effect, but it's like chasing lightning through a log of wood. It will burn. Better don't do that. Better first make the installation of your nice superconductor wiring and then plug it in. And how do you make your superconductor? And like is It's a purifying. But purifying is okay, you have practices, that's one thing, but what is your psychology? How do you live? Yama niyama. It's very, very important. When we have all these things about like, I don't know, chakras and all these things, yes. Develop your compassion, don't do any other practices, your heart chakra will open. Develop your insight and it will also, there's a natural way also of opening up. Now there's also practices, and it's very helpful and beautiful to do them, but if you just do them and you don't do any of the, let's say, basic psychological being a good human being work, it's not a center for human, for value education. You also have to understand there's values and values. There's values which you're taught because like a certain society or a certain thing considers that you should be doing things so that you obey them, and okay, it may be more or less unjust, like Austrian. So my country has given birth to Hitler, and well, we joined, invaded, or ever been annexed, by the Germans right away. And then you had a whole legal system saying horrible things, and that was the law. So is it just because like a whole system is saying certain things? So when I lived under Ceausescu, like in Romania for these 4 years, we can have a political system or a cultural system. The values that are taught are completely non-humane values. And that is why you find Nelson Mandela, I don't know how many years in prison under apartheid. Why? Because the values which people try to convince you to live by or force you to live by are not good values. So in that sense, it's you have to be critical also. But then, and it can be very dogmatic, that's what I want to come to. So certain values, sometimes in English when you talk value, morals, and it's very dogmatic, and why should we do it, and so on and so on. But then there's another aspect of values. It means if you want to go in a certain direction, if you want to understand something about yourself, what do you have to do? You have to open up. As long as you say, okay, I don't want to open up, okay, don't open up. But if you want to understand something, the definition of understanding something is that you open up. That you put some light, that you let some light go where there was no light before. So then the question becomes, what are the things which block this opening up? And you have to release these things. And that is what is happening. Greed. I want. Okay, not opening up. Jealousy. Not opening up. So these values are not values in the sense of some dogma, or something like this. It's just to look at how a human being functions. You say, okay, you want to go from where you are and you want to understand certain things. Or, well, these will be things which will be obstacles. So that's why we have to deal with them, but at the same time they don't like to be dealt with so easy. They resist. And so there again, Taiji, it teaches you a lot how you use also the strength of your opponent. How softness overcomes power. Because in the Indian context, I don't know, all your samskaras of, I don't know, like hundreds of thousands of lives that you had, and now you stand up and you say, I don't want anymore, I resist. I don't know if you will resist very well. When I was doing martial arts, and one friend was 120 kgs, I was doing karate at the time. When this guy came with a kick, you couldn't just stand there and block. It's not possible. I mean, it's just 120 kgs steamrolling you. So you had to become more intelligent. When he was coming, you had to move to the sides. You had to anticipate. At the moment he starts, then you start. Otherwise, it's not possible. And in that sense, martial arts also in another aspect is quite interesting from the psychological point of view, because on a very, very physical level, you understand that you don't go very far with brute force. You're down very quickly. So you start to learn, you have to become more subtle. And in order to become more subtle, what you have to do, you have to develop your listening ability more. Okay? Funny thing is, you want to develop your listening ability more, your center has to become much more grounded. Because if you want to listen, if you don't have grounding, how can you listen? Immediately you will be drawn into what the other people is telling you. So how can I at the same time completely go out, completely be sensitive, completely open up, but without losing my grounding? That's what lots of the martial arts are. And we have in many traditions, just to say this notion of a spiritual warrior. We have the knights, you have this archetype, of the hero in the sense. You go to the conquest of yourself, and it's like. And nowadays, I feel that maybe that's what I tell my yoga students in the first yoga classes. I don't know, have some of you read The Little Prince? It's a French tale. Read it if you can. It's a nice little tale. It's about a little prince who comes from some planet and then he comes down to Earth. It's a nice book, huh? And so there is one scene, if you remember, where the little prince meets the fox. So the little prince is it's like a little boy, but he comes from a little meteorite, he's all alone. And so he's on Earth and then he meets many things he's never seen before in his life. And so he meets this little fox. And the fox tells him, "Tame me." He says, "Okay, what is this taming?" And the fox explains to him, it's like establishing links. But so you have to do it slowly. Because for example, if you come tomorrow, if you come too close, I will run away because I'm not tamed. So first day you will come, you will sit there, you just look at me for a certain time, and then you go away. Then next day you come back at the same time, so they can get used to it, and then you can come a bit closer. And then little by little, I may be tamed, and we become friends. And in France, everybody knows this because that's really like one of the. And so I always tell my yoga students, that's what we're doing. It's like the little prince taming the little fox. If you start to be too harsh on yourself and you're like, you make your body very nervous. Like the people, they hurt themselves doing yoga, and before even you have started to do something, your body will be like, the crazy guy is back, resistance mode, resist him, he will kill us. Where are you going to go like this? Nowhere. Maybe you will have some improvement at the beginning, but then you get stuck on the deeper levels. So it's very important to develop this attitude of compassionate, friendly, gentle approach. And then little by little we create links, we establish links. We do yoga asanas with animals also. Okay, I have a tiger inside of me, okay, there's also a snake, let it come out. Instead of with my colleague, we said something I didn't like, and that was rather tiger thing. That's the snake that comes out. Unconscious. Do it in the yoga practices, we establish it, okay, it's part of me, nothing bad, I have a zoo, but let's make it a gentle and nice zoo, not a zoo where everybody is fighting the snake, is fighting the tiger, and is eating the cow, no, let's make it a more harmonious zoo, in a certain way. And where there's even maybe a human guy also who is in charge. And so that's very important. So just say, the warrior is also important, because we have to have fights, it's true. There's certain things, it's, once you want to know yourself, virya, you also have to. But in a compassionate way. Be gentle, when you have to use strength, you can use it. But one Taoist was asked, how can you reconcile this being a Taoist monk and a martial arts practice? Because ahimsa, they didn't say it like that, but basically it's also there, how you should be non-violent. Then the monk said, if somebody beats you and creates suffering for you, he's helping you a lot. Actually, he helps you evolve. He's taking away your bad karma. So this is an amazing gift this person is giving to you. But if the gift is too beautiful for you, it's too much to take for you, you can return the gift. That's a Taoist approach. Where am I standing in my evolution? If you can take it. But otherwise, it doesn't mean that everybody should just be trampling on me. That's also not very harmonious. Is it ahimsa to let other people spread violence? And you just, I'm ahimsa, but I just let everybody else killing, and is that correct? So I like that idea. Basically, it's gentle and compassionate. But if at some point you have to, it's not that you're going to be, I cannot do it. No, okay. You want to push me? No, don't do it. You show the mirror. That's another way of putting it. You make an ugly face and you start shouting and everything and listening very nicely. And it doesn't stop, and then at some point you just hold the mirror up. And then you get a heart attack by seeing yourself, for what you actually look like, when you're like this.
So we are assuming that we are not referring to oppressed people, discriminated people, people at the margins, or people, we are not referring to that.
In what sense? Why are we not referring to that?
Because
You have to take
compassion and you take it as much as you can.
And that depends on everybody on their own. The people who tell me, for example, like some people told me, oh, these oppressed classes, they're very happy because they can burn down their karma now and the next life will be so much better. Every oppressed people I have met and I have talked to, they don't like the situation, they want to do something about it. So I find it's a very, very not humble way, to say the least, to just tell other people, no, your suffering is good for you. I'm not, what, you should suffer, No. If somebody says, I want to give back, that's their decision to take and it should be respected. I've been in some, again, who are we? Asana. What is asana? Is how you're seated, how you're, what is your seat? Sukham sthiram asana. Asana should be comfortable and stable. But it's not only your asana, your physical asana. What is your asana in life? Where do you sit in relationship to others? I have been in some meetings with some people who wanted to do some more proactive, violent kind of actions. My role in sitting there, I'm not telling them don't do it. My role is to advocate the peace side, at the same time saying, okay, look, try to look if there is not also that aspect, but the decision is yours, and I will understand if you do the violent. Same thing when you're a judge. You may understand that person, you still have to give a decision. Because we need these decisions to be given. So that is why I really feel we come back to this thing of responsibility. It's very easy if you can just say, oh, my tradition told me, or my community told me, and so I have to act this or this way. But when you yourself have to face the dilemma, shall I do this, or shall I not do this? I have to weigh this and this and this, and maybe I'm wrong in what I'm doing. Or maybe I'm doing something which I'm not completely happy with, but it's, I feel I have to do it. That's where we come in the beautiful part, I think, of the Western tradition. Where, okay, but it's so much about choice. You have lots of things, you have to make your choices. People, whenever they don't succeed in anything, it's like they have faith personally. Because it's not their family that pushes them to get married, or it's not the family, so then it becomes your own decision, Am I eating meat or not eating meat? Am I drinking alcohol? Am I not drinking alcohol? And so many things are coming up. So what you pay is also a big price in terms of lots of doubt. Which is there. And so that is why I was saying, why, no, I would not say for that community. It is inside of each of the communities, if you really talk to the people, obviously as a group, you will see that there's different struggles going on. But inside also, everybody will not agree on how should we go about it. Should we do like this, should we do like that? But the fact to negate that there is struggle, or the fact to just say, oh, if you're Hindu, maybe your next life, or you're Christian, you say in the paradise. Do we really address the question? When you're suffering, and also when your families are suffering, and your children are suffering, and these are life is not a void to be filled, but a plenitude to be discovered. You will discover very deep, dark shadows, and very nice bright spots also. But once you want to start discovering, you will discover both of them. In the Christian tradition, we said before going to heaven, Jesus said to go down to hell. You You have to know all of it. And that is why we have this aspect of do we dare to do it or do we not dare to do it? And that is why we come to this martial arts thing. I think there is something for me, but again, it's my personality, not everybody has it. I see value in that noble warrior idea. You say, no, we fight only for justice and only for things, and so on. But when we have to do it, we also do not shy away from it.
You mentioned polarity and good and bad existing together, but then how do you understand harmonious society? Why should one at all be interested in an harmonious society?
On a deep level, I really asked myself this question a lot, because when I started to work on human rights and intercultural dialogues, it was the beginning of the 90s. At that time, nobody was much interested in India and China, and it was very much like Western-centered, especially when we were living in the West. And so I had this feeling like, oh, you have to contribute for a better living together for everybody. And so, to be honest, I was a bit like a missionary. I was feeling like, hey, people, you should listen more to each other, and that was really the thing. And I always questioned myself, because I was like, yeah, but is that really so important, And then I was like, I could also try to do good, for the society by becoming a good doctor, or by being a good baker who gives good bread, to the people. So many things you can do actually to contribute to the world. So then at some point I just came to the conclusion, I don't know what I did in my past lives or whatever, it's my dharma or my karma, or I don't know. The thing is, my voice, my thing which is, it's this thing, I love peace. But peace for me does not mean bad peace. Bad peace is I shoot everybody, and then it will be very peaceful because there's nobody around to annoy me. I don't like that very much. So I rather prefer like a living peace. But living peace, what does it mean? It means harmonious interactions of what is there. And probably, you see, you asked a deep question. It took me a long time to realize that is why I like martial arts. Because I also like dance, but in dance, right from the beginning, you start from a situation of harmony. I want to dance with you, and we dance together. But when you have a martial art, the person who is facing you, he wants to punch you. Maybe he wants to kill you. So it's not harmonious. And the paradox is that if you want to reply in an appropriate way to the person who is wanting to harm you, actually you have to completely open up to that person and to that situation so that you can act in the most appropriate way, in the most efficient way. And the more you start doing this, actually the whole thing becomes like a dance. And you disappear in the whole thing. It's just like what is going on. That's what's happening. That's all. And so the answer is on my personal level. It's just like, I don't know, that's my thing. I cannot give any other justification than just saying that that's, I don't know what happens. So that's what I let happen. I try to let happen. And then if I have to give one kind of rationalization, is I just find it sad that there is so much potential and so much beauty which is there, and even just looking at human beings, and that you just mess it up. And that we mess it up not only like on big things, but sometimes with our friends, we shut our friends down, our family down, we don't want to understand. Sometimes we don't even realize, we hurt people, we discard what they have to say, we don't even realize how much we inflicted, like some deep wound sometimes to people. And sometimes on the other hand, it does not need sometimes very much. Sometimes you give some time to somebody at some moment, and that plus other people who did this, and sometimes it can be life-changing for somebody in a positive way. So that's why I feel that it's worth trying to do something. And also in situations where nowadays there seems to be so much more polarization going on. in India, in Europe, in the United States, and the other is the bad guy, and then simple solutions, and this kind of thing. There I even feel like it's maybe even more important to do it, and becomes even more beautiful. There was advertising long ago in France on some chocolate, and it was saying un peu de tendresse dans un monde de brutes. A bit of tenderness in a world of brutes. And sometimes I think about this. If we can just, with what we're doing, just give some openness, some tenderness, maybe we won't change the world, but at least we'll have done this, and the more horrible the context would have been, the more beautiful that act even becomes, because you feel like even in that situation it was possible to act like this. It's the same thing about this shadow and light part that we see. So yeah, I see Dipti standing up, and so yeah, I read the signs, the non-verbal communication, the silent hints. Okay, so for those who want, we can still, and then they are still like until Thursday morning. So if anybody wants, we can still meet up. I have nothing foreseen as such, so if you want to chat a bit. And so tomorrow morning, when Dipti will tell you, we'll just like do a little practice together. So if you want to join, you're very welcome to join.
Yeah, the Saklons 5:45 to 7.
This Friday tomorrow or Thursday?
Both.
Tomorrow as well as
तो सैट के पीछे या सामने?
नहीं, बिल्कुल सामने ब्रिज के as soon as you enter on the right.
5:45.
Right. We'll start at 6 and then a little after 7.
And we should bring some yoga mat or something?
That he has to tell.
Bring it. I don't know if we'll use it. We'll do more like the Qigong things, but bring it. If you have it, we may use it.
And loose clothing.
Loose clothing. And don't come in high heels. Here, like in India, also you can do lots of things barefoot, but like in China, it's very cold, also, like in the north. So whenever you practice like the Tai Chi, it has to be flat shoes. That's important too, because you want to be, so if you like shoes like this, you don't have your rooting. So that's another thing. That's why I was joking with that. Okay, so thanks very much. Thank you.